Hey guys, Chris Amos here with Winding Road Magazine. This week I'm in the 2016 Audi S3 Sedan. This car has the 2-liter turbo, basically the driveline from the Golf R, and 292 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque with a 6-speed s-tronic or DSG transmission. MSRP on the S3 is $42,500, and this has a few options on it. It has the S3 technology package, 19-inch performance package. Of course, right now the 19-inch wheels are on summer tires. And this also has the S Sport seat package, which is pretty nice. You get these seats with extending lower bolsters and these nice cross-stitching patterns. They're all manually adjustable. You can raise these leg supports with a little button or a little lever down there, and they're pretty comfortable. They keep you positioned in your seat when you're cornering pretty well, and they're nice. This car feels pretty good equipped as it is. Just under $50,000. Performance is fantastic. Really a pretty nicely appointed interior. Touch points all feel good. I think it looks good, especially with these brushed aluminum accents. Plenty of technology. This has the technology package, so it's got the little touch pad here. Let me show you what the outside looks like. Again, these 19-inch wheels have snow tires on them. This red looks really sharp. Of course, your classic Audi S design cues with the silver mirrors. And we've got quad exhaust tips in the back. I think this car looks really sharp as an S3. It's got a nice low aggressive stance. The body kit looks good, or at least the different bumpers in the front, rear, and side skirts look really nice. Pretty decent room in the back seat. It's a little bit tight here for maybe a taller adult. I'm 5'10" and I fit back here pretty well. Alright, well, let's go for a drive. I'll show you what this thing can do. I've been driving this around for about the last week or so, and we actually had an S3 about this time last year, and I really enjoyed it. Car has a really quick steering rack. It's only about 2 turns lock to lock. And that helps a lot with turn-in and overall handling. So we've got a few different driving modes. You see on the screen here I've got us on the drive mode selector. I've got it set to individual right now, which has soft suspension, dynamic engine note, and auto, basically auto engine and transmission. You can set it to dynamic, and that makes everything just a little bit sharper and more aggressive. Auto is auto, and comfort kind of softens up the dampers a little bit, shifts at lower RPMs. When you go into dynamic mode, you're automatically in S mode for the transmission, so it shifts a little bit higher up in the RPMs. And under braking, it'll keep the revs up by downshifting a little bit. Really fast shifts with this DSG. I think to do any better, you'd have to get into a Porsche PDK gearbox. This is a fantastic transmission. It's really responsive in manual mode, downshifts quickly. And of course you get a little bit of a on the overrun. So we'll put it into comfort here. This is kind of a bumpy road. Ride quality is pretty decent. Doesn't make a whole lot of noise or fuss over the bumps. I think for our purposes though, I'm going to set it to individual. A little bit of understeer there on turn in, and then it sends the power to the back when exiting the corner. Brakes are pretty good on these winter tires. And if you want to engage launch control, just turn the traction control off and put it into S mode by pulling back on the transmission. Put the brake all the way to the floor, and if you follow the boost gauge, if you catch it at a max, you'll really launch really hard. And there's 60. The all-wheel drive, this car really does have a lot of mechanical grip. I would say that, you know, this still does have open differentials in the front and the back, but it does tend to it has an artificial electronic torque vectoring system that does a really good job, and it has pretty lively handling characteristics. I think the other night I was really hustling it around an entrance ramp, and you let off and you get a little bit of lift-off oversteer. This isn't something that you're necessarily going to be able to drift in the dry, but I think we're going to be getting some snow here in the next week or so, so we'll see how it does in some wintry weather. I really love this transmission. Pulls pretty well out of the corners. And I'd say it's pretty engaging to drive just because of how responsive it is. It matches the car just really well. You know, the S3 carries on that Audi S DNA in the sense that it just does everything really well. The steering is weighted really nicely around the corners. And then when you're just driving normally, it has a nice light touch, light feel to it. Lots of good visibility up here in the front seat. Can't say the same quite for the back seats, but from a driving perspective, we got a nice open area cabin, decently sized sunroof up here. These seats are really comfortable. I didn't have a whole lot of trouble finding a comfortable driving position. You've got a lot of leg room, a lot of arm room. For this being a smaller car, it feels a lot bigger in here when you're sitting in the front seats. You know, the S3 is just a really good size. It's a little bit lighter weight, quite a bit smaller than the S4. As a result, it performs fantastically. It has a good amount of go, stops and goes really well. just a little bit of a faint turbo whistle. I think Audi kind of does the similar thing with their engine notes, is they pipe in a little bit of induction noise. There's a little bit of other stuff going on, but under hard quartering, there's just a little bit of progressive understeer, and then when you let off, it kind of goes into a little bit of a drift if you're really hustling it. And then on corner exit, the power shifts to the rear, and it really pulls out nicely. This display, you can bring it up and down, hide it if you need to. In a really bumpy road here. Nothing that's really jarring me riding over these bumps. This engine's sweet spot is kind of between 3,500 to 5,500 RPM. You get into the higher revs and it tends to fall off a little bit, but it's not, you know, it's not a significant boost fall off as like what you would get in a Subaru, but it's not quite as peaky as what you would say in like the Focus ST or something like that. Again, Golf R driveline with just you know, basically the difference between this is, you know, you're getting the Golf R driveline in an Audi platform and the 4-door configuration. So a little bit lower center of gravity, and of course you get some nicer technology and luxury features buying into the Audi badge. So this is a great steering wheel. I personally am a pretty big fan of the flat bottoms. I really liked it in my GTI that I had for a couple of years, and I think this wheel looks pretty much straight out of the Audi R8. Some of the best wheels in the business. Put it in a manual here. Just for fun, we'll do one more launch controlled start here. Oh. This car is great. It's so much fun. I think this Audi really hit a sweet spot with the S3, and then it's the right size, it's the right weight, power output matches the handling really well. Of course, you know, with a little bit of tweaking from APR, I'm sure you can get this up with some nicer, higher horsepower numbers. But as it sits, this car is just, it's really hard to find any faults with it. Everything is well done. Everything is done to a really high quality, really high standard. And it's a lot of fun to drive. I mean, it gets better. The harder you push it, the better it drives, the better it performs. You get a lot of steering feel right on the limit. It weights up really nicely. And of course, this DSG is a lot of fun just because of how quickly it shifts and how well it performs. I would say this would make a fantastic daily driver. You know, especially if you need something that's all-wheel drive, or you just want that extra sure-footedness of the all-wheel drive that this car has, you know, compared to like the 235i, M235i or something like that. really pretty impressed with this car overall. We'll see, tomorrow we're going to be getting some snow in, and we'll see how it performs in the slippery stuff. But until then, I think that wraps up our review of the 2016 Audi S3 sedan. Thanks for watching, guys. Let us know if you have any questions in the comments. We'll do our best to answer them, and we'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos, and check us out on windingroadracing.com, where we sell all the race gear that you need to go faster. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.